Should I move closer to you, or?
It's all right. We're live here, Charles.
That's good, Jason. It's hot as Hades.
It's hot. It's really hot. Nobody's home.
Nobody is home. The artwork is fantastic as usual. I don't know that people get all the subtleties of who the art department has surrounding the what's left of the carcass of the President of the United States.
Yeah, and today is I feel like maybe my microphone is off. Can you hear me all right? Let's just see here. I sound super quiet for some reason. Check. I don't know. Well, Charles, today we're going to be back in the First Amendment Forum. We're sitting here because it is incredibly hot, and we're going to be doing something a little bit new today. I am very fond of kind of changing the situation. People are just staring at us as they walk by. But what we're going to be doing today, Charles, is the First Amendment Forum, which you've helped me to create to try to exercise our First Amendment rights in light of the post-constitutional situation we find ourselves in, where big tech giants are acting more like totalitarian dictatorships, where the mere act of criticizing a policy, a theory, a hypothesis, is grounds for being removed from social media. So we're going to be starting the First Amendment Forum evaluation of the empty-headed Joe Biden at 3:30 today. People are going to be able to watch it on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. And the other thing is, Charles, this tremendous heat makes it difficult for you and I to walk around and maintain this sort of constant conversation. But it also has a tendency to mess with the electronics. So today we're going to be inside for the First Amendment Forum. Anything you want to tell people about what we're going to be discussing?
Well, I think there's an awful lot going on, and we'll get into it in great depth in the First Amendment Forum. But I have to say that the performance of the sitting President of the United States and his cabinet and his senior aides is the most reprehensible performance of a president ever in the history of this country. So Joe Biden has accomplished that first, if nothing else. Even Jimmy Carter had the good grace to focus on getting the hostages home from the mess that he created in Iran under his presidency, as opposed to at the same time now trying to cram legislation which is anti-constitutional in its approach and anti-constitutional in its substance through the House and through the Senate concerning changing the way in which we vote, potentially, and changing not only how much money we spend, but the way in which we allocate money for spending, and the very process by which sums are put into budgets and then put towards their purposes. So the Team Biden is behaving as if they understand already, and they're behaving, I would argue, with guilty knowledge that they're illegitimate. They're trying to get this stuff through.
Mens rea.
Yeah, exactly. That they understand that their gooses are cooked, and so they're trying to get this stuff across the line before the country moves into the kind of questioning that's going to come as we begin to see in the mainstream press. For example, top of Zero Hedge just now, there's an extensive piece showing that the mainstream media, by that Bloomberg, ABC, and others, are now questioning vaccines and questioning the way.
They are?
Absolutely, yeah. They're questioning. There's various stories out saying now maybe it's safer to get COVID and get natural immunity than it is to take the vaccine. This is on Zero Hedge just now.
I mean, I wonder if we're allowed to even say that here outside of the First Amendment Forum, even though that might be true and certainly is something that our First Amendment rights allow us to discuss. Anti-constitutional entities could remove us. So that is the reason why the First Amendment Forum happens on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. I hope people will join us there in half an hour, because I know you got a lot to say about this, Charles.
The other thing we're going to do is we're going to spend a bit of time going back over some Clinton Foundation ground that I saw for the first time today, because I think we're hearing rumors that John Durham has indeed seated a grand jury. That generally you don't do that unless there's criminal activity that's being considered and people being subpoenaed and testifying before the grand juries. So it could be a civil grand jury though. So we're going to hope that Durham is actually really focused on his mission, which supposedly was to understand how it was that the Steele dossier got introduced into a process by the Clinton campaign or agents of it during the 2016 presidential contest and afterwards. If Durham has been doing his work, which is a very big if, then the trail should lead back to the illegal organization, attempted organization and operation of the William J. Clinton Foundation beginning October 23, 1997, and subsequent attempts to camouflage what was really going on, and indeed what had been going on with the Clintons illegally raising money using a raft of conduits with similar sounding names to further their political purposes, to further their personal enrichment, to extend the control of the Democratic Party, and to promote the creation with the Bush family of the New World Order, and reduce Americans and the American government to being vassals of unregulated globalists operating from faceless places and faceless locations, including Switzerland, maybe Beijing, Twitter, Ireland, DC, New York, Google. You name it. Yeah. So there has been, I submit, and I think the body of our work demonstrates, and as we pull it together, it will be clearer and clearer. The last really 30 years, and perhaps longer, there has been an illusion that we have all made progress together. Some of us have gotten a lot richer, but most of us are not richer when we consider on our income level, when we consider the amount of time and energy we have to work for free and how much money we get.
What about the devaluation of the dollar and all this quantitative easing and other things?
And from a wealth perspective, how much is the money that we have today worth compared to what a smaller amount of money may have been worth back in 1992 or 1988
when gas was $1.
Right. And so there's been people, certainly myself included, moved around the world being very busy, working on lots of different projects. We may confuse ourselves into believing that we're certainly older, we may not be much wiser, but we actually are a lot poorer and a lot, frankly, in a lot more dangerous position today on August 25th, 2021 than we were on August 25th, 2001, for example.
Yeah, Taliban didn't have loads of guns and night vision and body armor and vehicles and munitions and all that.
Right, so we're going to be talking about that in some considerable depth, but I think,
we are free plane tickets to the United States.
Right, and already there are stories, as you would expect, for the many tens of thousands of people who've been moved out by various governments and various non-state actors. You've got to believe that there are ghosts amongst those people being moved out who are not who they claim to be and who may well be very bad actors. That's before we start considering the many people who've moved across our southern and other borders under dumb Joe Biden's notional reign in the White House or wherever he is in the basement.
Has he put a lid on today yet, Charles? He waited all day yesterday to give one of the stupidest speeches this week.
Well, we'll talk about that at great length. I mean, it was pathetic, frankly, and everybody knows it.
Yeah. Well, it's quite hot, Charles, and as I said, our segment today is going to take place in the First Amendment Forum, which sponsors can watch, and people who want to become sponsors can join us on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. We never do anything illegal. We're not inciting anybody to do anything illegal.
Absolutely
we just
not.
want to exercise our First Amendment rights, and we're in a post-constitutional condition where we cannot do that on mainstream social media platforms. So the viewer sponsors that make this show possible are helping us to keep this information flowing, and I hope that people will share this video to others so that this network can grow. And what do you think, Charles? Should we got a little bit of setting up to do to head back?
Yeah, let's
okay,
roll
so
out.
We're going to head over there now, and we'll resume at 3:30 Eastern. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Share this video and join us in the First Amendment Forum in less than about 20 minutes here. We'll see everybody then.